Stock of the day. Oh, well, I suppose we could do one of three, and we'll probably cover all three of them in this context and try and work it out if you're a shareholder of all three. Superloop, I thought after it confirmed its $2.85 a share bid for Symbio has lapsed following a counter offer from Aussie Broadband late last week, offering a $3.15 a share counter bid, which a higher cash component and lower due diligence requirement. So how do you work all of this out? We've got a sort of a real M&A opportunity playing out at the moment involving three different stocks. David Lane, let's start with you. If you're a Superloop shareholder, what should you be doing?
I think if you're a Superloop shareholder, you stick with them. I think it's obviously good for Symbio shareholders that they're in the perfect seat if there is going to be a protracted bidding war. But as far as Superloop's concerned, yeah, they've come and said that their current bid is the last and final bid, but then they've also had the caveat in the absence of a better competing bid. So although it's best and final, it's not necessarily the last. So I think given we've now got two interested parties, we could well be in for a bit of a bidding war for Symbio. Notably, in both cases, the bid now includes some share components. So it relies upon the shares of the other companies. So Aussie Broadband, I have to admit, is a stock that we've liked for some time, and late last week actually took some profits in it because I couldn't work out why the share price was as strong as it was. It had sort of rallied fairly strongly over the last couple of weeks. Not suggesting anything's going on, but
of course you wouldn't, David.
Yeah, when the bid includes Aussie Broadband shares and you do that calculation and it means that the bid's worth $3.15, well, you're obviously doing better when the share price is higher.
So if you're an Aussie Broadband shareholder, still take profits?
Oh, look, we've still got a buy recommendation on it. We like it long term and think it is a very good business. So for a couple of clients, I just took a few profits, about a quarter of their shareholding, just because the share price has rallied very strongly in the short term.
Okay. So still a long-term buy on Aussie.
Still a long-term buy, absolutely, yeah.
What about Symbio?
Symbio is not a stock that we have covered, but definitely if you are a shareholder, I'd be holding with it because when you've got two parties bidding for the company, invariably you tend to find that the bid will be higher. So I'd be sticking with it for the moment.
Do you think Superloop will come back?
I would suggest so, yes. Given that they've said it's the best and final in the absence of a competing bid, I think that they'll probably have another look at it.
Okay, Ben, what do you reckon?
It's not an area I've really closely looked at. They're all pretty small businesses. Superloop's been a bit of a disaster. You know, it's had a big recapitalisation event about a year ago.
Look at that share, the 1 year chart. It's a horrible looking chart.
It hasn't been great. So Symbio, I've never really ever looked at, to be honest, but there's obviously some sort of, it does remind me a bit. Do you remember when Vocus and M2, there's an M&A cycle that tends to happen in this area of the market. So I guess it's interesting that it's sparking off now. So Symbio's obviously got an asset there that these businesses are both very keen on. I'd sort of echo David's comments. You know, if you're in Symbio, you definitely sit. When you've got cash and scrip, it's always like it's a bit difficult to say definitively what a bid is worth, you know, because the share prices can move around a fair bit. So maybe it's Superloop coming back with a better cash component of their bid. And
have you been an Aussie Broadband fan?
No.
Have you followed it?
No.
At all?
No. Right. It's again, like it's probably one. I mean, look, founder-led business, but definitely missed some metrics after it came to market, and it hasn't been one we've gone near. We were shareholders we did well in telcos for a period, and then Vocus really left a bad taste in my mouth some years ago. So we've been a bit wary. Like There's a lot of accounting wizardry that can happen in these businesses, and I learned the hard way. Yeah.
Ben, you sound as though you need therapy over some of the telcos that
Yeah.
you just went, nah, not going to touch one ever again.
Well, you shouldn't say that, but you just got to remember, you got to learn your lessons. And
Right.
when you got these roll-ups, it can come undone very quickly.
Right.
So
Aussie Broadband has had a lot of fans, though.
It has.
Hasn't it, in
Yeah.
the market?
Yeah, it has. It has. It's seen as a really good operator, but again, like there's been acquisitions, and I think if you look at the track record, the business hasn't really delivered on expectations.
Right.
And I'd be wanting to see that exceeding expectations. There's been I think a lot of the customer acquisition that's been going on, but again, it's like a pretty small little business, and we tend to steer clear of that area of the market.
Okay.
It's not our
All right.
niche.
So you're steering clear of ABB and Superloop as well?
Yep.
Okay.